what in your mind, with all the arguments and all the debates and all the conversations you've had,
Hmm.
what do you think is, do they have one or two good points? And if they do, can you remember them?
Do they have
Which
one or
are,
two good points? You're asking?
yeah, what do you think their strongest points are? Of all the conversations you've had, has anyone stood out to you
Yeah, I
specifically
would
as,
say
you know
that the
what?
situation in Judea and Samaria genuinely is immoral, and I think we have done a bad job on our end as Jewish people and as Israel in progressing what we want to do with that area. And I know we've also been pigeonholed by the international community, but their genuine gripe with the suffering that they live under in the West Bank, it's a real. I can't deny it. You know, like it is real. It sucks. It sucks to live as a Palestinian in the West Bank. Again, in reference to other people in the Middle East, is it much better? Absolutely. You still have a neighborhood like Rawabi that exists in the West Bank, that in Judea and Samaria, that has full of mansions and summer homes for Palestinian Americans, and people import lions and cheetahs and pet eagles from Dubai that have to be confiscated by the IDF constantly. Again, is it a way better quality of life than most people in the Middle East? Yes. Is it shit? Yes, it's shit. So I think that the fact that we have not declared sovereignty over Judea and Samaria yet and offered a better way of life for everybody in that area is a bit bullshit on our end. And so I think that's definitely a good point from them. Maybe the way that they'll nuance that won't be the best, but I do believe that we could have done a way better in just being more decisive on what we want to do with that piece of land. And we should be more decisive, especially now during the Trump administration, and bring an end to that part of the conflict. We really need to do that. So that's something that I would agree with on that. Let me see what else. It's hard to give them something, but let me try to see if I can give them something.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Um,
Yeah, through all the bullshit.
there is a lot
Um,
of bullshit. Trying to just filter through one thing that I could give them. Um,
it's tough, eh? I've also been trying to think, it's actually quite difficult. I thought maybe you've come across some people that just hit something on something and said something that just triggered
the
something.
thing is, again, it always comes down to the fact that their narrative and their identity is rooted in anti-Semitism and anti-Jewish like rhetoric. So it's hard, and I'll tell you, especially within the context of me doing my DNA test recently, it makes it even harder for me. It makes it really hard for me to like sit and defend them in any capacity. The one thing that I can say, okay, both I think this is another point I could concede to them, is that the suffering in Gaza is immense, and it really is true. I don't think that people are starving. I don't think people are dying from the cold. I don't think that there's a genocide happening, but I think the suffering is immense. It really is immense human suffering that is going through there. The thing is, I just genuinely think the populace there is literally too stupid, and it's not because of IQ, it's not because of genetics, it's because of the way that the brainwashing has happened, and especially the international community, and I would say most European nations and Western nations who have funded anti-Israel sentiment in Gaza. Has brought them to the point where they literally cannot climb out of the shit that they're sitting in. They are sitting in a pile of steaming hot shit and they can't climb out of it because they don't know how to climb. That's like, and so yes, I'll say I concede to that point that there is immense, sad, terrible human suffering happening in Gaza. I can concede that point. I concede that point that it's they're suffering in West Bank, in Judea and Samaria. I can say that they're suffering in Gaza. I can concede those points. Is it still under their own fruition? Yes. And unfortunately, you know what? And here, Brandon brought up a really great point here in the chat. He said they think they're winning, and that's the problem. Is that they're sitting in a pile of steaming shit. They don't know how to climb out of it, and they believe that this is the paradise. Is sitting in this pile of steaming shit is moral. Sitting in this pile of steaming shit is the correct thing to do, and so they just keep doing it, and the cycle continues. So I'm kind of semi conceding a point to them, but it's kind of hard to be honest with you. If I'm being completely honest, it's a little difficult. This question you asked me. I'm trying my darndest, but I really it's hard.
Oh, I totally understand. My thought was that I think UNRWA and the League of Nations, Arab League, has also positioned them so perfectly as the noble savage, the eternal victims,
Yeah.
and UNRWA keeps them, or has kept the education system in a perpetual cycle of just hate. I mean, we've all seen it, and that for me is an unforgivable sin from an outside force,
Yeah.
not particularly from an inside force. Um, sorry. Okay. Well, thank you for answering, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching, and thanks for calling in. I appreciate you very much.